Hey everybody, Snipertheladiesman here. Welcome to another channel update. So, I know that I've kind of been, not really doing, I haven't really done one of these in a while. Normally I would like to just keep up some sort of updates, sort of schedule where like I would update, maybe even in a case just even once a month just to say, hey, what's going on and, stuff like that, or just giving updates on any sort of games that I'm feeling of playing through, or the ones I'm currently doing, or situations like that. But I do have a few things I want to talk about. I just first thing would be to talk about the game I'm currently playing, which even when I first started it, I wasn't even really sure about starting in the first place. It was a little bit unexpected, mainly because I was after the Walking Dead Survival Instinct, a very guilty pleasure game, if I do say so myself. I mean, I beat that game in just like 2 hours and 7 minutes. Now, for any game, no matter what the budget, for any game to be just over 2 hours, that's pretty pathetic. And especially for a literal cash-in game like that. For a cash-in game like that to be, the only reason for it to be existed is because of the game I'm currently playing, the Telltale Walking Dead series. The much better version. And yes, like I'm playing through that right now. I'm having a good time with it. It is a little bit different for me to play through something like that, considering how many cutscenes there are, and how much I should and shouldn't talk over. I mean, mind you, I'm not a very talkative. I guess I'm not really much of a talkative person, anyways. So sometimes in other games where there's maybe not as many cutscenes, but there's a lot of action and stuff going on, at times I do feel like I'm forcing myself just to say something, because it's like, would you want someone who's talking generally all the time about something, or someone who it's just like 20 minutes of almost dead air while you're watching gameplay? So I try to be sort of a middle ground, where I'm not blabbering my mouth just for the sake of blabbering my mouth, but I'm also not just leaving it completely, literally just dead air. So I try to find a middle ground there. But so The Walking Dead season 1 is continuing. I actually just got off my most recent session with the game. I just got done episode 3 of the game, and I'll probably be starting episode 4 next week. I have no idea when this video is actually going to go up. Probably, today's 10:53 p.m. on November 8th, which was a Saturday. So, so I have no idea when you'll actually see this. You'll maybe see this on either Sunday or Monday or Tuesday. I'm not sure, but in the next couple days, you'll see this. The Walking Dead season 1 is continuing. Now, I kind of want to ask something a little bit right now. Would you want me to do the 400 days DLC? I've been kind of contemplating it, only because it was kind of a little bit. I don't know if it was really exciting when everyone heard, oh, The Walking Dead season 1 is going to have DLC, and it's going to have all these new characters, and it's going to tie into the next season. That sounds like a cool idea. And then when you play the new season, or when you play season 2, then you find out, hey, pretty much all the characters in that DLC, like there's 5 of them in the DLC. I think 3 of them have one line of dialogue. One, I think, doesn't even show up at all, or if so, you just see his back. And you got Bonnie, who actually becomes like a character from less than midway through the season onwards. She becomes like a standalone character that you follow around with the whole rest of the season. So it's just, I find it funny that it's just like one character stands out amongst the rest, and the other ones, again, barely even get a line. So when I kind of heard that people were less than, you know, I guess obviously not happy about what basically the 400 days DLC did, was just say, here's my $5 for pretty much nothing. So again, I'm contemplating whether or not to actually do that DLC bit. I would like to know if anybody says, sure, go ahead and do it, even if it doesn't make much of a difference, or if there's anyone's like, forget about it, we forgot about it just as quickly as Telltale did. Don't even bother doing it. It's a waste of time, waste of videos, waste of energy. Whatever your decision may be, I would let you know. Just either way, and I did like that would more drive my pick of which one. So I mean, if there's like one person who comments and says either one or the other, chances are I will go ahead and do that one choice. I just want a second opinion, pretty much. Yeah, so next, I can't believe I actually took like 6.5 minutes and talked about that. So next, going to be very simple. About a week ago, a little less than a week ago, I pre-ordered Kingdom Hearts 2.5 HD Remix. That, of course, comes out on December 2nd. Now, two things about it. Number one, apparently what I found out is that will actually have 1.5 remix on it. Apparently, like the collector's edition was just like unveiled or something with some sort of details, and that was one of the major things, or at least that's the only thing that I saw was on it, is that it's going to have 1.5 on it as well, which is great for people who I guess didn't buy 1.5 and waited for 2.5, because hey, now you're getting even more games for the amazing price of $40. Which then begs the question, why would you even wait? But needless to say, so there's that. So that's kind of cool. Now, if now of course for someone like me who bought 1.5 and now is going to have technically a second copy of it, that's going to kind of seem weird. And it kind of makes me sort of wish that why didn't I just wait? But needless to say. And the second thing is that with the game coming out on December 2nd, which I believe is a Tuesday, I mean, most retail big titled releases come out on Tuesdays. Some of you may know this, some of you may not. I know I'm getting like constant new subscribers, every day and stuff, but I unfortunately don't have the free time, not only with personal life, college going on, other stuff. I don't have, unlike other big Let's Players, I don't have the free time to record at any point. Generally, I record on the weekends or whenever I have the house basically to myself, when I'm basically alone. That's generally when I like to record. So, and that's generally why I don't upload, 1 or 3 or 15 videos a day. I just simply don't have the time like other people do. So again, the people who upload like 3 videos a day and have like 1 million subscribers, that's great, but they got that way because they can do it on their free time. I unfortunately don't have that. So I guess that's kind of a general reason why I only upload every other day, so I can stock up on a few episodes, go throughout the week, upload every other day, and then on next weekend, go through another session. And generally that's what I've been pretty much doing for the last 2 years. Well, just a little bit over 2 years now. So there's that. Okay, so next thing I want to quickly talk about is, well, recently I've been kind of on a little bit of an eBay spending spree. Um, because of the because of recent actions of that, you can't buy older games at retail stores. Basically ever since they canceled the PS2 a couple years back. Basically, you cannot get PS2 games unless you buy them online. So I've kind of actually bought quite a few games off eBay and Amazon and other just other websites and stuff. Um, and now I do want to just like kind of briefly go over some of the games that I got or that I have bought. Now, these are the main ones at least. I have actually bought, and I just had to say this. I have actually bought a couple Dynasty Warriors games. Um, Man, I think I bought like four of them in the recent like month or whatever. Um, so like I mean, there's a whole like long ass series of Dynasty Warriors games that I could go into in depth, but I won't. But basically, I got four more to add to my collection. I'm actually just missing a few of them. I think like I think I'm just missing six and maybe one other one. And other than that, I believe I will have every Dynasty Warriors game, including all the expansions. Uh, like basically, I have two all the way up until I'm missing six, and then I have all the ones after that. So pretty much, it's just six I'm missing, which is kind of amazing. But again, that shows you kind of how much of a fan I am. But I digress. So I kind of want to just go quickly, and again, all the games, the games I'm going to quickly go through, they are definitely possibilities for future Let's Plays. Again, I take all recommendations for people who suggest games to me. I don't technically write them down. I know I should. I really should start remembering. Like I should start going through the comments, going through my messages of games I've done recommendations for, typing them up, and actually remember them. I like just off the top of my head, I can remember most of them that I've gotten requests for. But these are some the following games right now are kind of games that I've played through either just like about an hour in, or sometimes even like half the game. Uh, and yeah, so one of them that I've actually been wanting to get for the longest time is the Mega Man X collection. I've been wanting to get this game for the longest time. I'm you know I'm a huge fan of Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo, and it's really cool to play it again. On a big screen. It's really cool, and of course played on a Sony console. I mean, like what? Basically playing an SNES game on a PS2. Like even just thinking about it when this game would have come out, that still would have been, I still would have been shocked by that. But yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, this has like the first six Mega Man X games plus an additional one that wasn't released in the U.S., which I guess is a kart racing game, which seems kind of silly, but you know. So there's that. Next one I have is called Nano Breaker, which when I first saw this, it looked kind of a mix between Dynasty Warriors and Devil May Cry, which basically you can just say they're both it's a gory hack and slash game. That's generally that's all. That's what you can basically say. It's definitely interesting. I definitely see that it's not going to win any awards, or if it did, I'd be surprised. But it's definitely interesting with its combat, at least. It's definitely been keeping me hooked. I think I've played about half the game so far, or maybe a little bit less. But okay, so another one, one that's actually fairly rare to actually get is Extermination, and this is one of the games that I only played the demo of on an old PlayStation Magazine game disc that would have all these different demos, and this is one of them of the games that I played just a demo of, and I liked it, even though it was a demo, so it was short. It was just you barely had any action in it because it's kind of a slow pace. It just gets you into the atmosphere, and then right before you're into any big action, then it just cuts off. Well, I pretty much got up to, or at least what I remember, up to the point of the demo, and generally what I had to say is that it's an old style Resident Evil game, but without the ridiculously clunky controls. That's probably the best thing I can say as of right now. It really, I just that's probably one reason why I've never actually played the original Resident Evil games, and I've only played from 4 and onwards, because I would always hear that, oh, the controls are clunky, but the games are awesome, and I really cannot stand clunky controls. Even if they're done on purpose or done by accident, I just normally can't stand them. Okay, so another one that has always been a personal favorite of mine, and I don't understand why I either sold the game or got rid of it or lost it or whatever. Chaos Legion. Again, just like with Nano Breaker, it's like Devil May Cry. Okay, Chaos Legion is not only made by Capcom, but it's got a really interesting looking style. The main character, you can basically say it's he's a ripoff of Dante. I mean, even on the back of the case, it says, if you love Devil May Cry, you'll love Chaos Legion. How much more of a comparison do you need if even a magazine even a magazine says on the back that if you play DMC, you'll love this game? And personally, I've played Devil May Cry. I unfortunately can't get into it, or at least like the original 3. Well, even though I've only played parts of 1, none of 2, and like the first level of 3. I can't get into it. It's something about it's fast paced that I can't keep up with it. But games like God of War and other hack and slash games, I'm perfectly fine with. And this is a lot more, I guess, slow paced than Devil May Cry for me, at least. So again, that's definitely a possibility for like a full playthrough or something. And again, if there are any of these choices that you would like to see, or you would want more information on, or anything like that, do let me know. I'm always open to answering questions, of course. So now the other two, final two here. One, I've never actually, I never really knew existed until I saw another video that I can't remember the name of, but generally it was like the top 20 or top 15 or something like that, like underrated PS2 games. It was just like a list. I don't even think there was an actual number to it. It was just a big list of underrated PS2 games. And this one was on it, Crimson Tears. I took one look at this and thought, this looks awesome. First of all, it's anime styled. Second of all, it's cel shaded. And I love cel shaded graphics. I love the style of cel shaded games like Sly Cooper, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. I like the style of it, even though I never actually played the game. I do appreciate the style. Afro Samurai, The Darkness 2, there's a whole list of like almost a subgenre of games that are like cel shaded, and this is one of them. Now, generally, what I have to say about this is that it's an action RPG. You play as 3 different characters who each have their own different style and different sort of weapons, and this is one of the first games I could ever think of that is their dungeons or whatever their levels are randomly generated. Now nowadays, randomly generated games are kind of whatever. Okay, so your game is going to be like this, and it's going to be this kind of gameplay. Oh, and you have randomly generated environments. Okay, cool. Like it's kind of like breezed over in like discussions of like whatever. Okay, it's cool. It's randomly generated, and I was really I was interested in see how that would work, especially for a game that's all the way back in 2004. Okay, I mean 2004 randomly generated areas. Personally, me, I've never really seen too many around that time. Again, nowadays it's everywhere. And yeah, like I played a little bit of this, and it's really interesting. The combat is so satisfying and so fun. I don't really think I can really say anything more about it. It's surprise. It is actually really underrated, and I don't know. I may actually that's actually a really high on my list to possibly let's play next, but we'll see. And the final one that again is actually quite rare to get your hands on, just like Extermination. The one that I'm talking about here. Well, where Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls are both made from the same team, Quantic Dream, and they both have the same director. Well, this is the first game that had that similar style of where the Walking Dead's Telltale Walking Dead sort of, I don't even know if really copied, but it's where like 90% of it is cutscenes and choosing your decisions with a certain character. Well, the game I'm of course talking about is Indigo Prophecy, or I believe if you're in the UK, I believe it's called Fahrenheit. But whichever version, it's the same game. So, and ironically, actually, right now, because of now my recent purchase of Indigo Prophecy, I now actually own all three of the what's the director, Dan? David Cage. I think that's his name. I'm pretty sure. I now own all three of the same style games: Indigo Prophecy, Heavy Rain, and Beyond Two Souls. Now, I'm not going to give anything spoilers away from what I'm going to do with that, but I would really, really, I'm really thinking of if there's really nothing going to be like big releases that I'm for sure going to play. I'm honestly thinking of picking all those three games and playing them one after another. I know that basically spoils that eventually I will do it, but I really want to. Heavy Rain I absolutely loved. It was one of my favorite games in 2009. I believe it came out in 2009. Beyond Two Souls, I was a little bit late to the sort of like, I was a little bit late for when it came out. I wanted to get it when it did come out, but I was kind of like late to the rush. And then I think I got it when it was dropped down to like $40 or so. And again, it's a very similar style as Heavy Rain. I really love it. Again, it's got two amazing actors who it is kind of funny that I don't even look at them as the characters that they're portraying. I looked at them as them. Willem Dafoe and Ellen Page. I look at them as themselves, not actually as the characters, which that can lead to a good thing or a bad thing. I think generally more kind of a bad thing. But oh my god, dog, don't be starting this right now. But anyways, so I just kind of this is a game that I do want to play. Eventually, I have barely played the game at all actually. Okay, wow, I'm already up to like almost past 24 minutes here. That's crazy. Alright, so now just a very quick final thing here. I can't believe this is going to be this big of a video. But so last thing I want to kind of get through, as long as my dog doesn't just hopefully wants to shut up. Been disrupting me all like the last like well from like 10 or like 11, 12, and 13 of of Walking Dead that you'll see eventually. My dog just makes one or two barks here and there, and it disrupts portions, and I hate him because of it. But anyways, one final thing I want to quickly go through is I have been looking about replaying, or would you say redoing some Let's Plays. I know that's maybe not really a very popular thing that Let's Players do. Is like usually your older videos are like they're older for a reason. They're how you started, and then you get to see it for like longtime fans or longtime viewers. They did see sort of the transition of like your commentary, how you play, to the actual quality of your audio and your visual portion, and how it all goes together. But now there's technically 5 games that I want to redo, and you may be thinking, wow, 5 games, that's like almost half the games you've played. But here's the thing: 4 of them are from the exact same series, and 1 is a very underrated game in my opinion. The one game is Alpha Protocol. I feel that I didn't do that game justice. Actually, all 5 of these games are in the vein of I didn't have the best equipment to hook up to a PS3 and play these games, because you get kind of like not great quality in the visuals. You get very subpar quality in the audio for commentary, mainly because for pretty much all that I was using the mic on my laptop, which that's not a good thing to do. It's good to start off if you don't have much, but looking back, it's pretty painful to watch and listen to actually. And again, going to the visuals, like you got those really bad black bars on both sides that bugged the hell out of me. And the other 4 games are every game in the Sly Cooper series. I mean, I started Let's Playing with those games. I pretty much Sly 1 was the first game I started ever doing. And then like I went into Sly 2, then I went into Alpha Protocol, but then I kind of stopped Alpha Protocol to finish up Sly 2, and then I started Sly 3, went back to Alpha Protocol, stopped it again, and just a bunch of mixing and stuff. So it was kind of jumbled up where Alpha Protocol was like forgotten 3 times actually. I named 3 separate videos about the fact that I forgot about Alpha Protocol 3 times. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you think it's kind of a good idea? It generally is basically saying that I want to give better quality videos. I do feel that at the same time too, I could do a better actually playthrough in them. I again, just the visual portion, the audio portion, me actually playing, maybe commentary wise, I could actually do better. So I know there's quite a lot of dead air, and some kind of moments that just kind of make me cringe whenever I think about them. So I don't know. It's a hit or miss idea that I've been thinking about for the last little while, and this video is running way too long. But what do you guys think? I don't know. Again, it's going to kind of lead to what you guys kind of think will be a good idea. I would very much like to redo them. Not only for the fact of just revisiting the games again, but just maybe maybe some people don't know that I have actually done those games, and maybe some people are thinking, oh well, you like the Sly Cooper games, you talked about so highly of them, why haven't you done them? And then I kind of go, Well, I have played them. You just gotta click in my playlist and they're there. They're just way at the bottom of the list because, they're my first games I played. So maybe it's something like that. But I do know that most of them get like uh, fairly decent attention. I mean, it has been well over 2 years since I've done those videos. So again, I would very much like to redo them, just for the sake of mainly getting better quality put into them. Have them actually 1080 720 or 1080p and full screen, none of that black bar crap on the side for all those games, making them look good. I know I could do them better that way. So, anyways, I just kind of wanted to go over that kind of quickly, see what everyone else thinks. It's funny that I only had 4 things to talk about here, and yet I somehow have been talking for half an hour. That's pretty crazy. So anyways, I won't. I'll just kindly shut up. But basically, comment about any of the things that you've heard today. Either about the Kingdom Hearts 2.5 pre-ordering, about me doing the 400 days DLC for Walking Dead, some of my recent PS2 game purchases, and whether or not you would like to see some of them, or Dan recommends some more to me that I should check out, as long as they're not extremely rare or $70 in order to buy, because chances are I'm not going to get them. Chances, but they're still there. And then of course about me redoing some past Let's Plays of just fantastic games in general. So thank you everybody for listening. I've been rambling on for the past 30 minutes. Anyways, again, thank you everybody for listening, and I'll see you all later with more Walking Dead.